What's up, good people? I'll wait till we get somebody in the room. Hello, Vicky. What's up, Bo? And y'all know I start supposed to start at 7 o'clock. Pardon me. All right. So I see the crew over on IG. Y'all getting hot over here, hotter quicker. What's up, everybody? Vicky the stylist and Betty Hunt, who is so since 1994. I was glad everybody else. Tell me. Oh, Cecilia. Hey, how you doing? I'm about to be like you with a doctorate. I need a few years to get it though. You all may or may not know, but I've started my doctoral program. And I hear y'all come over here. Let me see. I got a couple folk over here. Okay, so I got a few folk from Facebook. And if y'all have not joined or subscribed to my YouTube channel, would you take a moment and hop and do that? If hey, Bishop Borders, if you don't have to leave this stream, would you go and do that? Jasper Williams 3 underscore. Thank you, Serenity. Thank you for that. Congratulations. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Jasper Williams 3 underscore. It'll pop up though if you just did Jasper Williams 3. Okay, so I'm gonna make it a little easier for y'all. Thank you very much. No, I don't want to do that one. We're gonna hop in tonight. So tonight we're talking about what is this that I'm feeling. We're talking about emotions, and I have I don't want to say a grave concern, but I have a concern that sometimes we don't know how to process our emotions, and when we don't know how to process our emotions, it can make life a lot harder than it needs. Unprocessed emotions are like an unflushed toilet. Unprocessed emotions are like an unflushed toilet. It's something that you don't want to look at. It's something that you don't want to smell. Yeah, unprocessed emotions are like an unflushed toilet. Listen, yeah, you hear me? All right, so now what do we do? What do we do when we are experiencing emotions that we don't want to experience? What do we do when we are experiencing emotions that we don't want to experience? So you got both sides. You've got the side of emotions that make us feel good. Welcome to Mental Health Monday. I am Jasper Williams III, your mental health advocate. I'm so glad that you all taking a moment to join me on tonight. Tonight should be, my hope is that you'll walk away learning something. I've got thank you for that, Serenity. I've got a graph or an image that I want to be able to show y'all on tonight to really kind of help you be able to process your emotions more quickly. This is the kind of stuff I do one-on-one. Some of the hardest people to process their emotions would be men, because men have at large been taught to shut down their emotions, that the emotions that they're experiencing is not right, it's not fair. And that isn't well, I said it, that is not right. When men have emotions, they should be able to experience those emotions. Now, I just dropped the link in YouTube and on Facebook. Would y'all please like, comment, and share? I'm kind of getting new to this. I just put I think I can pin this. Yeah, I can pin my YouTube page. That's there. Yeah, so men have ways of dealing with their emotions differently, and it can make life pretty bad. And I am unfortunately a witness to that. I've had that happen in my life, and I have caused some pretty big car wrecks. It affected how I loved myself. It affected how I loved my wife. It affected how I love my children. Here's the thing: the closer people are to you, the more they either are harmed by you or will benefit from you. The closer people are to you, the more they will be harmed by you or the more they will benefit from you. So let me give you an example. In my case, I've got my wife, Alicia, my daughter, Jordan, my son, Quad. Now, our kids now, Jordan has finished her master's. She's living in DC. So she's a bit distant from me than what our son Quad would be. Jordan didn't come home this past summer from school. Quad was here for 2.5 months. So the fact that Jordan is further away, she has less chance of benefiting from me or being harmed by me. And I'm talking more about those that have not learned how to process your emotions. Please comment, like, and share and subscribe. I dropped my YouTube link in there. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. Um, so Quat was living in the house, having to feed that joker. You know, he had a job, night, morning, weekends. He was here. Now, Jordan, on the other hand, not being here, couldn't experience some of the family times, the laughter that we did when Dad took us to. We went to the gun range. We did a whole bunch this summer. My wife, myself, and our son. But there was a time when I just have to leave. But then I learned that. I learned that I had to leave because I had these emotions that I was experiencing. Couldn't understand why. But then now there are times that even my family helps me to process it. So you got both sides of the emotions, and this really should answer some of your questions on tonight, or at least I want you to be able to walk away from something. And I'm going to say this: being a black man, two black men can be some of the hardest demographic of people to process their emotions. And the reason why is because we have been taught so long that we are not supposed to have emotions, that we have to keep going. We don't have time to deal with that. Black men have been told, real men don't cry. Real men do this. You know, a real man isn't that. Suck up your tears. Anybody like that? Do I have any brothers that are out there? Just put me. Absolutely, men process their emotions differently. That's right, Tawana. Anybody ever heard that? In a woman or man that you've heard? Yep, men are not supposed to cry. That's one of the biggest lies from the pit of hell. Show me in scripture where God gave women an emotional package where he did not give men an emotional package. Show me how we're different. Show me where God said men aren't supposed to cry and where God says women can lean on their estrogen and that's why they cry. No, that is absolutely not right. It has become a cultural construct for it to be separated. Now, I'm talking to all men. Anybody that is listening to this as a man or woman, it will help you see about men and black men. But I'm talking about that niche now of it being black men that have had a hard time in being able to process their emotions. I was when I was much younger, probably like 11, 12, probably somewhere there about, I was at my cousin's house, and the kids, the older kids that were in high school, I was in lower school or elementary school, and while I was in elementary school, I wanted to be like the other kids. We would go outside, we'd ride bikes and those kinds of things. And my cousin had a 10 speed. He had a 10 speed bicycle. And kids were taking, turns going up the hill because my cousin lived towards the bottom of the hill. But at the top of the hill, there was a curve at the top, at the very top. It would curve and snake out, and then we would ride the bicycles to the bottom of the hill. Well, I waited my turn, right? and my cousin let me ride his bike. Well, I was good going up the hill. I leaned the bike over. Some of you men may already know where I'm going, and ladies will catch up. I leaned the bike over, and I was able to stand the bike up and start pedaling. I'm doing something. I'm working my magic. I'm doing my thing, about to be like the big kids. I pedal all the way up to the top of the hill. And when I got there, I looped around, made my loop, and I start coming down the hill. Man, my hair is blowing in the wind. Let me paint the picture for you. I have this eternal smile on my face. I've got my hand in the air shouting, "Victory is mine." I'm coming down the hill. And then when I come around the turn, I can see my cousins. I can see the other kids in the neighborhood, other, kids that are in high school and so forth. And they're standing in the middle of the street and they're talking. I can hear them as I'm getting closer. I look up and I'm like, oh crap. How do I stop? I'm trying to pump the brakes. It's my first time on a 10 speed. I'm trying to stop, and I don't quite get it. When you get that BMX bike, you just rock back on that pedal, right? It's not happening. It is not working. I began to panic. I finally applied the right amount of pressure to the 10 speed. But when it finally came to a stop, I didn't do what I did to get onto the bike. I did not lean the bicycle over and gracefully make my exit from the bicycle. I had stopped and my adrenaline was going so fast until when I hit stop, it was a men's 10 speed bicycle. The women's had that V in there. The men's or the boys, it had that straight line across. And I wasn't really tall enough. No, I wasn't, no, kind of. I wasn't tall enough to stop the bicycle. And so to get off the bike, so we actually even ride it. So I come to a stop and I try to put my feet on the ground. And you get it. Yes, that happened. Severe pain. But now watch what I did. Watch how culture trumped my emotions. I came down. Everybody's looking at me. All the girls, I remember this cute girl named Linda. Linda standing there with her ponytails. Princeton and Chris and all the others. I don't remember some of the other names. All I'm standing out there. I came down, and oh, that hurt so badly. But since everybody is looking at me, I can't cry. I can't cry in front of Linda. And the guys are like, don't be no punk. And so what did I do? I sucked back my tears and tried to play it off, gave the bike back to my cousin, and acted like nothing was wrong. Has that not been anybody's problem? That you were in something that was dangerous, that you weren't necessarily suited for? You got hurt. You didn't know what to expect. You don't even understand how you got there. Yes, I'm departing from the illustration that I used, but the whole point about that illustration is being hurt while in a particular activity or life happenings or circumstances. Some of y'all just came in. Please stay. I'm going to put this graph up, this thing. I want to help us tonight get through, at least find a path to our emotions. Now, let me tell you how that went to the next step. My dad came from a generation where men don't cry. Boys don't cry. Suck it up. Men don't cry. And because I modeled my father, I respected him. He was bigger than life to me. I learned by those one or two times that dad said that, don't cry. I learned how to retract my emotions, not just physical pain, but I learned how to retract my emotions from relational pain. And probably the hardest place that I hurt myself was with my wife, because I learned how to feel with my head instead of being able to feel with my heart. Now, I'd imagine that there are some ladies that probably understand what I'm talking about because you've been loved by a man that could only love you with his head. Now, I'm not talking about as men being able to understand how a woman feels. We can look at that through a textbook. It's kind of like men don't know what childbirth feels like. I remember I said something recently. I told my wife something. I was in excruciating pain, and I was up in the middle of the night. And I said, I thought I was like having a baby. She got mad at me. You don't even know what having a baby. How dare you say, how dare you say that? But you understand what I'm saying, right? It's easier for women to identify with their emotions. And like I said, some ladies have been you have been loved by a man that is not in touch with his emotions. Let me tell you what happens. A man's emotions are severed when he is told he cannot express himself the way that God has designed him to express himself. Some of those, so that you're just coming in, we're talking about what in the world is it that I'm feeling. I've got a graphic that I want to show us before the night is over. I'm trying to make my way through there, but that was my problem. My wife, in our therapy sessions, she would always tell our counselors, he doesn't get it. And then we get home and she would try to explain to me, and I couldn't understand through her words what she was saying because my emotional component, my emotional package had been severed. And so I really couldn't get how she was feeling, what she was feeling, where she was feeling it from. And so I'm trying to understand through my mental capability. For a long time, I could not cry. Now I find myself hard. It's hard for me to even turn off the tears. And you know what? I've been able to embrace that. I've been able to embrace the fact that God has made me an emotional being. I am a man, 1001% man, and men do cry. I think I saw a t-shirt in these more recent years that says real men do cry. And if I didn't see a t-shirt, I need to make it, because men have an emotional component. And when we are taught at an early age to shut down our emotions, it, it carries over into college, into post grad, into our degree programs, even into being married. And you can become like me. I'm talking to demographics. Ladies, you know what it feels like to be loved by a man that doesn't have his emotional package healthy. And brothers, we know what it's like to love a woman with what's between our legs, because that's where the head comes from. That's what's going on in our head, and we feel like that we've embraced this false ideology that she'll love me because of what's between my legs, what I am doing to her, how I'm making her feel. And yes, a woman is supposed to be able to experience a man's love, his passion. Um, but on the other side, that same woman and that same brother needs to know how to give his love and passion and compassion in a sexual way. God, I'm going to say this again. God never designed us to be loved or to love without an emotional package. And let me just say this: there is a group of ladies that also identify what I'm saying. Because of your circumstances, how you grew up, you were not able to develop a healthy emotional component at what age, whatever age it was that you were there. This is for you. This is for you. There are three things that I want to share tonight about emotions. First of all, emotions are legitimate. Emotions are legitimate. Emotions are legitimate. The second thing I want to tell you is that emotions change. Emotions change. When I felt that pain, when I fell off that bicycle after having racked myself, those emotions, that pain was real. And actually, I felt some shame. Maybe I'll be able to show that to you on this chart. Hang on with me. I want you to be able to screenshot this graphic that I'm going to give you. I think it'll bless you. That was legitimate pain, and there was legitimate emotion tied to that act. The second thing is that emotions change. Um, Sometimes you can be happy in the top of the day. Something happens at lunch, and then you end up at the bottom of the day, not just tired, but frustrated, angry, upset, bewildered, because emotions change. Even maybe later on in the night, your emotions have changed to something else. This is how God has made us. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing when he made us like this. The third thing about emotions is that, and I just kind of wrapped it all together, is that emotions can ebb and flow. Emotions can ebb and flow. Um, Let me not say too much about that. I want to give you a picture. On maybe I need to do that next week. I'll wait till next week because that's a good one. That's going to take some explaining. I want to talk. I think next week I'm going to talk about um, acknowledging our emotions. There's a particular way, there's a particular modality in which I learned when I was in treatment. And for those of you who don't know, 25 years I have survived through life with mental health issues, and then everything came to a third sabbatical. It happened in 2019. In 2020, I went away for 30 days in an inpatient treatment. And it was there that I learned about this emotional, the way it is that we should process emotions. All right, but I want to keep to my word. I don't want to hold you all night. Let me see this. Let me see what kind of comments we have here. Um, yeah, Miles, thank you for witnessing to that. Um, Tawana said, I said on a post yesterday that the strongest amongst us are also the most vulnerable. Yes, ma'am. The only difference is that it's not easily seen by everyone. There is so much wisdom and truth in that comment. To my IG fam as well as to the Facebook fam. In Facebook, I pinned my YouTube channel. I'm asking if you would please go subscribe, please. If you're watching me from either of the YouTube channels, would you please go ahead and subscribe, like, and leave a comment? That'd be great. And to my IG fam, I pinned my YouTube channel. I'd appreciate that. If don't leave me now, don't leave me. Screenshot and go do it even when we get off. If it's gonna change things on how it is that you're viewing. I don't want you to leave the audience. Yes, men do have emotions. Yes, I saw another comment here. Um, okay, I'm not sure what this means. Church folk, yes, sometimes, what was I doing? Black people have a way of expressing themselves emotionally when that thing get going in church. And we go to hucking and bucking and all those kinds of things, and then people start looking, and church folk would say that you are unstable. That is so right. um I recently had an issue last week. I think I talked, was it last week or the week before? I talked about on my mental health Monday that time I got called crazy, and how it just really kicked over a bucket of pain. I had to speak up for myself as well. You can go back and take a look at that. Let me see. Okay, here we go. All right. Katie Bow. Even when we know we should express our emotions, the fear is what will happen when we finally express them. It's a scary thought we will be out of control. Yes, sir. And I want to say something. The more the the more we don't express our emotions, the more that is likely to happen. Did you hear what I said? I'm going to read this comment again. Even when we know we should express our emotions, the fear is what will happen when we finally express them. It's a scary thought to think we will be out of control. I better not say that now. Um, Miss Sincere Cecilia says, I'm married to a man just like that. It's hard for him to express his emotions. I hope you show him this if it don't make him mad, what we're talking about tonight. For a man to tell a man how he's made is just something about it. When ladies try to tell us, try to help us think, it's not that they're not right, but sometimes our masculinity can keep us from quickly moving to agreeing with them. I think that's a place of pride. Whatever a man cannot receive from a woman when she is right. And I learned that also. I learned that also. That my wife, she can be so right. And used to be that I would push back. I try to give my way of explanation. I try to find a better way to say what she was saying. Um, but through processing, I've come to know and embrace the powerhouse that my wife is and the wisdom that she has. All right, I think I'm caught up on my comments. Emotions, web, and ebb and flow. That's right. Emotions are legitimate. These are the 3 points for those that maybe who are just tuning in. Emotions are legitimate. Emotions change. Emotions can web and flow. Yep. All right. So now let me get to my. All right. Let me get to my. What am I trying to say? Let me get to my wheel. Okay. All right. Now, IG, if you want to see this, log off here and go to my YouTube page. It's there pinned. It's youtube.com at Jasper Williams 3 underscore. Because this you really think, I think you need to take a screenshot of this. How can I make this larger? Maybe if I went away. Uh, no, that didn't work. How can I get this to y'all? I know what I'll do. Come back next week. I'll try to have it where I'll, you know how they do it where you can text emotions or in the chat comment emotions and I'll send it to you. I'll try to have that set up for next week. All right, so what we have here is the emotion wheel. This is the emotion wheel. And most of us, you know what? Most of us are really only able to categorize in the middle there. I'm starting at 12 o'clock. Anger, disgust, sad, happy, surprise, and fear. I'm not sure how this is showing up. You probably have a hard time if you're on a mobile device, maybe on a desktop, maybe it's a little better. Those are the typical emotions that we feel that are true. And some people ascribe to a different number, different amount. I'm going with this one tonight. Anger, disgust, sad, happy, surprise, and fear. Those are the six main emotional categories. All right, so how do we know which one it is? Now, why is this important? Why am I even saying this? I'm saying this because, what am I supposed to be doing? Okay, here we are. Yeah, I'm saying this because if you cannot process your emotions, how can you deal with them? If you don't know what you're feeling, how can you know what you need? How do you know what's right? Are y'all understand what I'm saying? All right, I'll go small again and go back here. All right, so um recently I heard of someone who was suffering a dramatic loss. Um, it was a death, as a matter of fact. And I don't know if y'all like me, but I feel that it's too soon for some people to die. I understand what Scripture says. We have an appointment with death. We can't change that. I can push back with some regards because Hezekiah got more years. After he turned his face to the wall and prayed, God extended his years. I don't think that that is the exception. I think that is the exception. That is not the norm. Anyway, my theology can be kind of all over the place, but I believe that it is appointed a time for man to die. We all have an appointment with death. Even in the case of Hezekiah, I think he bought more years, but in God's sovereignty, there was still an appointment for Hezekiah to transition from this earth and to go to heaven. All right. So, with that being said, this particular person's life, it came up out of nowhere, this sudden loss. And because some people, some scenarios, some situations can be hard to process, especially when you're not expecting it. They were left feeling nothing. Let's come to grips with that. They were left feeling nothing. They could not feel in that moment. And that is understandable. That is a traumatic response. When someone that you love, that you know of and you love, suddenly it happens and you just feel numb. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Put a thumbs up if you know what I'm talking about. Drop it in the chat. So, which one of these emotions are they experiencing? All right, is it anger? Is it disgust? Is it sad? Is it happy? Is it surprise? Is it fear? All right, so just in this case, for the purpose of this illustration, I want to walk you through in that example with the idea that you'll be able to do this for yourself in the coming future. All right. So let's look at what we have here. You've got I'm starting on the top with so y'all see anger is right there in the middle. Okay. So if you go on the fringes, embarrassed, devastated, insecure, jealous, resentful, violated, furious, enraged, provoked, hostile, infuriated, irritated, withdrawn, suspicious, skeptical, sarcastic. Do you see what I'm saying? That we know that anger is what it is. The person I'm talking about, they probably can't even dial into anger yet because they're numb. And may I say, if life presents you a circumstance where you can't feel, it doesn't mean that the emotions aren't there. It means that the shock and the trauma of what's going on and has happened has just muted emotions. That's how God has made us. God has made us like that. Could he made us like that because it can be an emotional flood of things that happen and we would short circuit? That's what I believe. But I want to drill down. It's not a surprise that it is anger, but I want to drill down. So, knowing what I know about this person, resentful, furious, enraged, hostile, infuriated, withdrawn. Do y'all see that? Withdrawn. All right, it's in the 12 o'clock position. I'm trying to use my words to describe. Anger is at 12 o'clock, but on the fringes, on that second layer, if anger is the first layer, the second layer has other words, but then on the outside layer, withdrawn. The person that I'm familiar with, I think they said they couldn't go home. They were withdrawing. Now, why is this important? Because many of us, how do you say I'm angry and you can't feel that you're angry? But you know you can't go home. My goodness. You know what? The world needs to hear this. This is so subculture. Now, let me just say, y'all, this is where I shine. Let me put the full thing on. This is where I shine. because I am in touch with my emotions. I've gone through the severing of heart and head and reconnecting the point to where my emotions can be seen with joy, with happiness, with sadness, a healthy way to process anger. This is why I've had to fight through in order to be able to have an authority to not only stand and talk about this, but a testimony that I'm done surviving, that I am now thriving. Let me see if I can't put. Um, let me see AC. All right, so I just dropped on Facebook, YouTube. There's my calendar. Book a free time if what I'm saying resonates with you. I'm trying to give it to y'all. IG. Yep, there it is. Okay, I want to pin that one. Can I pin both? Nope, but there it is. So I'm gonna go back to my emotional wheel. Emotional wheel. I'm trying to. Okay, y'all, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I'm figuring it out. All right. So do you see how that's helped? So if I notice that I'm being withdrawn, I'm feeling withdrawn, I ask myself, so why? And I can refer to my emotional wheel. I see that, okay, withdrawn, it leads to anger. Okay, I got it. I'm angry. Lord, help me process through this anger. What am I angry about? I'm angry that nobody understands me. I'm angry that, man, my spouse, my girlfriend, my brother, my sister, I can't go to them because I don't have a place to be able to be safe there. Are y'all understanding what I'm saying? Y'all ain't putting no thumbs up or nothing in these chats. I can't ask for amen because I can't hear it. If you're understanding, let me know. Drop a thumbs up or something. All right. So remember, we're talking about how to dial into the emotions, because I would process being withdrawn differently than I would process um, feeling jealous. If I'm feeling jealous, that's a totally different shade of anger than feeling withdrawn. Are you understanding what I'm saying? All right, so let's keep going. So remember, anger is at my 12 o'clock spot, and when I'll go to the outer realm, um, withdrawn would probably be about 1 o'clock. Is on the outside, so I feel withdrawn. Okay, so if I come into the second round, I see critical or distant. Remember, they both lead into anger, but I found myself feeling withdrawn. I come in a little closer, and do I feel, do I feel distant or do I feel critical? Let me ask you this. What do you think? Is it just one, or can you feel both? If you feel both, you just feel both. This isn't, this is how you're made up. So let's just say that, okay, I got it. I'm withdrawn. Distance makes sense. Yeah. So I'm over here hiding. But watch now. Watch. Even though I'm withdrawn, I got to stay. I feel withdrawn. You can feel withdrawn even if you're in a room full of people. If I was in a pulpit, I'd say, can I get a witness? You can be totally withdrawn and have a glass of wine in one hand and a tie on and a blazer. You can feel totally withdrawn. And then you can also feel withdrawn by yourself. But then what creates being withdrawn and being distant from people? My wife, I think, was it earlier today? We were coming home from the gym, and she said, "What's wrong with you? You feel distant." Just the fact that she asked that. Now, there was a time she'd ask it and it'd get on my nerves. It would make me even more angry. but I've done an awful lot. We both have done an awful lot to be able to get to the place where I can hear what she's saying and what it means. And she's just her question has helped me, or did earlier, help me process through, okay, why is she picking up that I'm withdrawn? And brothers, women know. Women know. And if you don't start listening um, to the right voice in your life, and you start listening to the right voice, you could miss a whole lot of personal growth and development. Let me hurry up and finish this thing out. All right, so now I am withdrawn and I feeling distant, but then I also feel critical about this because the person that put me in this place, what was up? I mean, you could have told me, this was gonna happen. That's why ah you can criticize people. You be critical because you're withdrawn and now you're looking for somebody to place the blame on when really your anger is being hidden. And so while you're trying to place your emotion on somebody else and we're trying to make it somebody else's responsibility, it's because we're angry. I feel distant. And even if you don't tell somebody that you don't process it to them, I'm being critical towards you, but that is advanced. To be able to tell somebody you're feeling critical about them, first, we don't know how the person's going to feel about you telling them that you feel critical about them. But this isn't for anybody else. This is about you. And when you start feeling critical to somebody, okay, so withdrawn, I'm feeling a little distant as well as critical, I'm angry. Now, see, watch. In the case of of the person I was telling you about earlier, that they're just angry, that they're angry that an event happened. They feel numb, but they can think their way through being angry. But to have the different colorings and to be able to process the emotions that are on the way that answers the question, so why am I angry? Helps them get through what needs to be taken to God, what needs to be processed through even more, what they can now communicate to a loved one. Look, I'm feeling a little withdrawn, I'm a little distant. I'm good. I'm good with you. I'm just going to need some time because I'm angry. I hope tonight has been a benefit. Let me see if I got any other questions. Somebody said, "Yeah, a Detroit city girl." I can't see the rest. It's kind of shaded. All right, what's up, IG? Good, good, good. JJ, only a childhood friend will call you that. Who in the world are you? You're right. That's what family used to call me. Actually, just a branch of family. It's Charmin, Jerome, Chris. Um, some folk down in Alabama where my grandma was from. So you know me from way back in the day. Yep, yep, yep. All right, what we got going on over here? Facebook and YouTube. Let me see. All right. Okay, somebody says, I would love to have you on my podcast. I think you may have already emailed me. Love to have you on my podcast on The Lighthouse with Dr. T, where we discuss various topics on mental health and faith, especially with clergy. I tried okay, there we are. Haven't gotten a response yet. You asked my wife and I both to be on. And I think when I realized it, or when I found the email, it was the weekend. And so we kind of broke down, but I was talking to my wife yesterday and she's good. We're good. So we can continue that. We can continue that conversation. Would love to. All right. I think that's the last one over here. Is it? All right. Yep. I think so. Yep. 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 All right. Well, tonight was good. I hope y'all got something from it. If you did, let me know how. I mean, that was good. Yeah. It's Amika. This was really good. Lots of helpful information. As a matter of fact, if you know somebody that you think needs to hear this and will not be offended at you telling them or having them share this, send it to them. Send them the link. Please send them the link. 844-868. I can't remember that, what I'm thinking of now. All right. God bless y'all. And tonight was good. Thank you, Carolyn. That was good. Yes, ma'am, Tawana. Awesome. Good stuff. I'll be back on next Monday. Every Monday is a Mental Health Monday. And then my wife and I do Thrive Thursdays, where she actually joins me. This past week was good. It's posted um, on, it's not on, I don't think it's on IG, but our Facebook page as well as our YouTube page. It was pretty good. You might want to get the danger of you, the danger of you. God's calling you to a place, but you can get away of what God is calling you to do and where God is calling you. It'd be good. All right. Y'all have a great night. Father, I just thank you for these who have remained, those who stuck their ear in for a minute. I thank you that they got the right piece that they were supposed to get. Father, I pray that this tool will be a blessing and helpful to them in restoring what is ours. Our emotions are ours. Pray your blessing on us in the remainder of this week. Father, I feel led to pray this. Help us to give us ourselves grace. Help us to give ourselves grace. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Bye-bye. Oh, no.